Hello and welcome to the 3D Vision Boards channel. Right now we're going to talk about suicide. I heard a startling statistic that the suicide rate for teenagers was on the rise. And it was partially because of social media and the fact that people were taking pictures of themselves and posting it, and basically the pictures were of them being happy, and basically they were being fake and they weren't really being real. They weren't showing true images of themselves in real life. They were showing, snapshots, selfies. And then the teenagers are comparing themselves to the images that they see on social media, and so they're not being happy with their own lives. And so 3D Vision Boards is all about living your best life, getting the best out of life, setting the vision that you want for yourself and for your company, for your organization, and partnering with you so that you can achieve it. And of course, you cannot achieve it if you're not around living to achieve it. And so this video is particularly for anyone or if you yourself are feeling that life is just not worth living because it's not turning out the way you thought that it should turn out. If things are going totally topsy-turvy, upside down, and it's really not worth it, you're looking at other people's lives and you're comparing your life to somebody else's life. Basically, I've been there, done that, and wrote the story, and so many others that I know and have relationships with have wrote the book on that also. And so I'm only going to talk to you about really my personal account and people that I know, their personal account, and I'm going to try and keep it short because I know everyone is busy. So if right now you're at that particular point, I basically can say to you that life is definitely worth living. You may feel like it's not worth living, but it is worth living, and it is worth living another day, another hour, another minute. And that is a part of your heart and your mind that you have to make that decision to say, I'm going to stick around and give it a shot, because you don't know exactly what the future holds for you. You only know what you feel right now, and that's a feeling, a temporary feeling that will pass. It really will pass. And you can't make this decision based off of this temporary feeling that will pass. And I want to ask you some questions right now about how you got into this feeling right now, this deep feeling that your life is in this spiral. Is it because of comparing your life to somebody else's? If it is about comparing your life to somebody else's, I would say that that's the worst thing you could do. Why? Because you are a unique person. You are a totally unique person. There's only one of you created, nobody else. And I absolutely mean this. Nobody else can do exactly what you can do. And you need to spend time figuring out exactly what your gifts and your talents are so that you can get about the business of doing that so that you can live your best life. If you are comparing yourself to what someone else is doing and you see that they're having this fabulous life, they may have figured out what they're good at, and you may have not figured out what your gifts and talents are, and maybe it seems like they're having this great life, and that could be the reason. And once you figure out really what your purpose is in life, who you're meant to serve and validate, you spend your time doing that, you will start to see a big change in your life. So number one, figure out what your purpose is in life, and don't compare your life to someone else's. Don't compare your gifts to someone else's. Focus on yourself. Number two, also, is it because of a relationship? Now, everyone can understand a broken heart. Oh, I can understand a broken heart. Believe me, I can understand a broken heart. And if that is the case, that too shall pass. And so, again, you have to figure out a way to move past the broken heart, but you are not to give up on your whole total life for a broken heart, and in your own life for a broken heart. And you will love again, so you have to be willing to stay alive so that you can experience love again. And there's love in different ways. There's love of children, there's romantic love, there's friendship love, there's love of God, there's lots of different love. So you have to stay alive to experience all different types of love. So that's another thing, that you have to stay alive to experience all of those different aspects of it. There's that. And there's purpose. There's comparing yourself to others. I would say that there's confusion. And then there's just disappointment, I would say. Deep disappointment can have you really, really, really depressed and feeling hopeless. There's a feeling of hopelessness that can come over you. That is sometimes undescribable and can overtake you. So sometimes that comes with getting a negative report. So if you are also in that place, you can get around some people who can support you. Be positive people. Get in a supportive network, I would say. That would be your best aspect, to get around a supportive network. Get support in your life if you can at all do that. Stay away from negative people and negative things that remind you of a negative outcome. Write yourself positive things on your vision board and on your mirror and all around you. Put things that inspire you constantly up and around you, so that you can continually be inspired, so that you will stay hopeful. You want to have an attitude of hope and not an attitude of a negative report. You don't want to dwell on the negative report. And always what I do, as it with all this stuff, I really give it over to the Lord. That's what I do. I couldn't make anything at all this far if I didn't have a relationship with the Lord. And you may not have that relationship. You may have your own faith that you follow. If that's what you do, that's what you do. This is what I do. So I hope that this helps you deal with your situation, because I can tell you one thing: there's only one you, and you are meant to live, and you're not meant to live a life that ends before its predestined time. So therefore, live it, and live it to its fullest, and don't worry about what anybody else is doing. So thank you again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.